comfortably settled in my chair. I savored sips of aromatic coffee. Today's tasks are enormous: auditing reports, analyzing restaurant efficiency for the month, preparing for high-profile guests, and, of course, developing plans for the future. This is an integral part of my life. I am William, a successful entrepreneur, millionaire, and respected individual. I built my restaurant empire from scratch, starting in childhood when I traded chocolates. However, in business, I never fully learned to trust those around me. I am constantly illuminated by a sense of danger, adhering to the principle of if you want it done right, do it yourself. Despite success, this sense of anxiety never leaves me. My wife Maria occasionally expresses her dissatisfaction. "William, you're up early again. You've completely forgotten about the family. You prioritize your work over us, including our daughter Jennifer and even yourself." Though she has loved me since we met in school, she rarely sees me due to my lack of free time. "I promise, Maria, I'll finish current tasks, and we'll go on vacation," I reassure her, but she just smiles and shrugs. Despite the usual strictness of my schedule, I occasionally allowed myself to relax. Since childhood, I've had a tradition of Sunday gatherings with friends, mostly a group of guys, at my longtime friend Michael's place. These gatherings involved conversations and spirited card games with small bets. However, today Michael suggested something new: playing to fulfill wishes written in fantasies. I didn't immediately agree, but eventually gave in under the influence of friendship. The wishes were playful, and everyone left as the loser fulfilled them. But, alas, even I couldn't escape defeat. With displeasure, I pulled a piece of paper from the bag and was horrified by what was written. Instead of jokes, there was a task waiting for me: hand over control of the restaurants to a homeless person for a month. I shuddered with bewilderment and refused, realizing that such a step contradicted everything I had worked for in business. But Michael persisted, teasing, "Think a homeless person can handle your business for a month?" "But I've already said I won't agree to this," I added. Friends exchanged glances, their smiles fading. They knew how much my business meant to me. However, Michael was insistent. "Now, no more jokes. You lost, and that's a fact. And the fact means it's time to settle the debt, the card debt, the most important one." Seeing my condition, Michael offered, "Don't worry so much. Everything will be fine. Your deputy, Charlie, will handle it. He'll step in for you. He knows the job. He'll figure it out. It's just a month. As for the homeless guy, let him sit in your office in an expensive suit and do nothing. You'll just pay him a salary, and that's it. And you, William, go on vacation with your wife. You promised her. You'll also get some rest. Nothing to worry about." I understood I had no choice. Hiding wasn't an option, and I didn't want to lose my friends. With a heavy heart, I agreed. "Okay, where do we find this homeless person? And will he even want to do it?" Michael grinned. "Where to find? That's easy. As for refusal, well, you're right. If the homeless guy refuses, we won't have to fulfill the wish. Guys, let's look for a new director for William. You go out, and I'll join you in a minute." Just closing the door, waiting for the men to leave the building, Michael hurriedly picked up his phone. "Charlie, hi." It worked out. William fell for it, unsuspecting, and the others too. "Yeah, don't worry about the homeless guy. Who would refuse such a fantastic offer? Just don't forget about me when you become the director." "Okay, talk to you later." Michael, of course, realized he was betraying his friends but took this step knowingly. Due to foolish debts, he got caught in the bank's trap. He didn't want to ask his friends for help, and repaying their money would be necessary. That's why Michael came up with this wish game. The bag with fantasies was successfully swapped when it came to William's turn, and he didn't even notice the substitution. What can you do? That's life. Not everyone is as lucky as William. Everything will work out for him, and maybe he'll forgive me someday, thought Michael. It was getting dark outside, and the men, after a brief pause, walked into the nearest courtyard. They were fortunate. By the garbage bins, a young man was bent over, using a stick to search for something useful. "Hey, can we talk to you?" Michael shouted to him. The homeless man stopped his activity and looked around at the others in surprise. Ugh, the stench. What does he look like? Unwashed, dirty, in old clothes discarded by people, Michael thought with disgust. "Sure, go ahead. What do you need?" The homeless man replied. "We have a unique offer for you. You see, we're conducting an experiment. Can a homeless person handle the responsibilities of a director in a large company? We'll dress you, provide food and shelter, and even pay you a salary. The experiment will last for 1 month. So, are you in?" The homeless man was even more surprised. He simply couldn't believe that such a thing could be real. It must be acknowledged that the man wasn't easily intimidated, and he asked, "What will be included in my duties? I haven't worked in this company before." "Well, basically, we just need your presence. The only absence in the company this month will be the director. The rest of the team, including the deputy director, will be present. The only thing required of you is to create the appearance of an important, business-like person. And, of course, forget about harmful habits," Michael explained in detail. The homeless man paused for a moment, scratched his dirty head with his fingers, and agreed, "Well, okay, I'll agree if that's what you're asking. In principle, I have nothing to lose. How unpleasant it is to talk to homeless people," Michael thought to himself. Then he put on a friendly smile and said, "You're great. Absolutely did the right thing by agreeing. What's your name?" "I'm Liam," the homeless man replied. "I'm Michael, and this is William, the restaurant director you'll be replacing. Now, we'll go to the hotel so you can freshen up. You'll start working tomorrow. Am I right, William?" Yes, I reluctantly confirmed. Until the last moment, I hoped that the homeless man would refuse such an absurd offer, but all my dreams turned out to be in vain. What will Liam, this homeless man, do with my business in a month? It's frightening to imagine. Even if he doesn't ruin it, it will still be difficult to restore. After all, competitors never sleep, I worried. Under the astonished gaze of the hotel receptionist, 5 men, including the one in indecent clothing who smelled unpleasant, headed to the luxury suite. In 5 minutes, the receptionist was even more surprised to see the courier holding packages with expensive branded items. All the men celebrated the evening merrily, except for me. I walked home pondering what had just happened. To my surprise, my wife Maria reacted positively and even joyfully to what had happened. "Come on, William, why are you so worried? Everything will be fine. You've organized everything so meticulously that your restaurants won't collapse in such a short time. Besides, you'll have your deputy, Charlie, at hand. Let's discuss where to go on vacation together. You really need it. You've become so restless lately." "Maria, you decide about the vacation. Choose the destination yourself." I dismissed my wife's suggestion. I spent a sleepless night, deep in contemplation about the future. The next morning, I gathered my strength and headed to the office. At the door, I encountered a young man of pleasant appearance, cleanly shaven and stylishly dressed. "Who's this? I don't recall him," I thought. "William, Liam is waiting for you. He says there's an arrangement with you," the secretary said. "Yes, let him in," I replied with a heavy sigh. The unfamiliar young man entered the office, the same one I had bumped into at the door that morning. "Liam, is it really you?" I was almost speechless. I always believed that homeless people were individuals who had lost their place in society, whose concerns revolved around food, drink, and sleep. Such encounters only happened in fairy tales. My mobile phone rang on my desk, and I silenced it. My wife, "I'll call back later. Not the time for this now," I thought. A moment later, a message arrived. "William, I bought vacation packages for the seaside." "Yes, my business is falling apart, and I'm going to the seaside." "How foolish is that?" I protested again. "Liam, let's go. I'll show you to your office." I had no idea that the new director, Liam, was trembling inside, barely crossing the office threshold. Externally, he tried not to show his nervousness, and it seemed to work. However, changing regs for stylish clothes doesn't mean changing habits and lifestyle, and certainly not gaining intelligence. Except in Liam's case, sinking into a comfortable chair, he felt a yearning for his past life, and when his hands touched the documents, his heart pounded wildly. After all, homeless people aren't born, they become. Once upon a time, Liam sat in an office, holding documents about the current state of his auto repair shop. Things were going well. He worked late at the office and didn't notice how his young wife, Amanda, drifted away from him. Rumors circulated that she had a lover, a successful businessman looking to expand his business. Liam refused to believe it and continued working. However, Amanda's lawyer announced that he no longer owned the company or even his home. His wife and her lover didn't hesitate to commit vile deeds, bribed the right people, and took over his company. Liam was devastated. Soon, he found himself on the streets. In a few days, he was standing by the dumpsters, just like other homeless individuals. His life turned bleak, filled with loneliness, emotional pain, and longing. But everything changed yesterday when several men approached Liam with an incredible offer. He grabbed onto it like a drowning man clutching at a straw. Yes, it's only for a month, but he wants to feel like his old self again. It was real happiness. Surprisingly, as I left the office, my heart softened. Unconsciously, I found myself thinking that the anxiety and fear were gradually fading away. My wife, Maria, noticed it too. Finally, you're home. I barely catch a glimpse of you. I bought vacation packages. We're flying in 2 days. Can you imagine? I still can't believe it. Maria chirped around me like a bird. I involuntarily gazed at my wife. What a beauty she is. Usually, I'm always busy at work, and I've become so accustomed to everything else that I took it for granted. Suddenly, I caught myself thinking that I wanted to give compliments and care for my wife, like in the honeymoon phase. Maria, did you change your hairstyle? It suits you very well, I said with a smile. In surprise, Maria almost dropped the plate she was holding. She couldn't remember the last time she heard compliments from me. Thank you, of course, but I changed my hairstyle a year ago. You just didn't notice. She smiled. I didn't notice many things, Maria. Forgive me, I said, embracing my wife. While I was enjoying family time, passions flared up in my office. Liam's arrival didn't go unnoticed. The news spread like wildfire. No one understood why I left for an entire month, leaving a stranger as my replacement. Women succumbed to Liam's charm, but men regarded him less favorably, seeing him as a competitor, especially Charlie, my deputy. Who is this guy? Clearly not accustomed to this environment, Charlie thought irritably, observing Liam. When Liam began giving orders, it fueled the deputy's rage. Michael, who did you bring in? Charlie shouted in frustration. He's not a homeless person. You said he would just enjoy life, eat, drink, sleep, and spend money. And here he is giving orders to everyone, Charlie erupted. I don't know, we picked him up by the dumpsters. He looked like a homeless person, Michael mumbled. I told you we needed a fake homeless person. If Liam messes up my plan because of this, you'll be in trouble. Charlie, with uneasy feelings, hung up the phone. Could everything go wrong? He waited for this moment for so long. You can't even get rid of this stubborn director for the weekend, let alone a vacation. This dressed-up homeless guy probably knows nothing about business, especially in the restaurant industry, Charlie comforted himself. He had been a deputy for a long time and dreamed of a promotion. But with William's distrust towards the staff, career advancement seemed impossible. Charlie decided to seize this business for competitors in exchange for the position of a restaurant director and a decent salary with regular bonuses. The entire charade with the homeless was devised for this purpose. It's okay, I'll get what I want. This homeless guy won't be an obstacle, Charlie reassured himself. But he had no idea what a temporarily appointed homeless director was capable of. Liam didn't intend to play the fool, as Michael foresaw. He was grateful to William for the opportunity to return to his previous life, even if only briefly. With a rich business background, Liam brought his knowledge to improve the restaurant operations, systematically evaluating William's approach. However, the director stubbornly rejected new ideas despite their potential profit. Liam's mind was filled with ideas like changing the menu, updating the interior, and hiring creative staff. It required funds, but it was worth it. With Liam's arrival, office life became vibrant as every employee engaged in the revamped workflow, anticipating fair pay for excellent work. Charlie, the deputy, disliked this unexpected situation, hoping for unrestricted access to documents and accounts related to the director. However, this persistent homeless man constantly interfered. Charlie felt nervous, realizing precious time was slipping away and the boss would soon return from vacation. The day was nearing its end, but Liam wasn't in a hurry to leave. Fortunately, he didn't have to head to the dump. Conditions for a comfortable life were created within the month, providing him with a one-room apartment near work. However, fatigue from the accumulated day took over, and Liam headed home, where a warm atmosphere prevailed. After long days spent outside, his small cozy apartment felt like a true haven. Oh no, I forgot the folder with the documents, Liam lamented, wanting to contemplate a new business idea at home. Upon his return, He noticed light in his office, despite being certain he turned it off. Liam's surprise peaked when he saw Charlie leaning over the computer. Liam disliked Charlie because he was passive and indecisive. If Liam had the authority, he would have fired Charlie long ago and found a replacement, an active, energetic professional dedicated to the job. However, without William's approval, Liam couldn't make such a decision. But now, it seems he might have to. "What are you doing here? And who gave you the right to dig into my computer and documents?" Liam angrily inquired. Charlie tried to come up with something vague in surprise. Today was the decisive moment for him to take over this business. Charlie stepped away from the computer, hiding a sheet of paper in his hands. "Give that to me immediately," Liam yelled, snatching the sheet from the deputy's hands. "My goodness, it's a business embezzlement scheme." Liam restrained his indignation. He knew about it firsthand, as a similar method led to the loss of his own business. "I won't let this happen. Never." "It seems I have no choice." Liam instantly made a crucial decision. "Answer me immediately. Who are you trying to sell the business to?" Liam shouted angrily. Charlie was not at all prepared for such a turn of events and remained silent. "You're fired. Submit your resignation and leave tomorrow. If you refuse, I will involve the police, and it won't just be termination," Liam declared with an icy tone. Charlie's lips trembled, and his face turned purple. "How dare you, you dirty beggar, fire me? Me, the deputy director? You're nobody here and will soon roll back to your dumpster. That's where you'll vanish. When William returns, he'll expose you." The former deputy director was beside himself with rage and resentment that his plan had failed. He fell into the trap he himself had created. "You're mistaken. I am the director now and have the right to dismiss such unscrupulous individuals like you. Don't count on William. You betrayed and deceived him. I won't detain you any longer. Leave the office," Liam asserted. Charlie, smirking maliciously, headed towards the door. Liam's words about the police made an impression. During his time here, despite the director's scrutiny, Charlie skillfully maneuvered through financial manipulations and filled his wallet quite well. By the end of the next day, Charlie was no longer in the office. Liam's time at work was also drawing to a close. There were just a few days left until the return of the director, William, from vacation. He dreaded the passing time, fearing the impending return. "Will I really return from a fairy tale to hell again?" Liam tried to push away dark thoughts. "The same fear engulfed me, William, when I returned from my trip. The vacation went wonderfully. Strolling along the seaside, I constantly thought about what was happening at work, and it began to trouble me. Upon returning to the city, a heightened sense of responsibility took hold of me. How are my restaurants? Did Liam manage? Or has my entire business turned to ruins?" Monday arrived, and as soon as I entered the office, I discovered numerous changes. "What's this?" A new interior, modern and beautiful. People sitting at tables. That wasn't there before. On the wall, an announcement surprised me that the restaurant now offers not only business lunches but also business breakfasts. Every step brought more and more changes. Did Liam come up with all this himself? Who is he? Certainly not a beggar. I marveled at what was unfolding. "Hello, William. Congratulations on your return from vacation," Liam said with a smile. "How are you feeling?" I asked, although it was already evident that he had handled things perfectly. "Yes, I've prepared a report on the work. You'll see the innovations I introduced in your absence and the results achieved." Upon seeing the report, I was not only pleased but also impressed. Such growth in prestige and profit in the restaurants in such a short time hadn't even occurred during the best of times. But not everything went smoothly. "William, I fired your deputy, Charlie, for manipulations and criminal conduct at work," Liam said, waiting for my reaction. "I suspected for a while that he was shady. I just got carried away with paperwork and lost sight of it." "You did the right thing, Liam," I replied. And, after a short pause, I added, "You know, I've made a decision. I don't care who you were before and what led you to homelessness, but I see in you a skilled professional and a talented leader. I propose you take the position of my deputy." "Agreed." Liam's heart raced, and his soul rejoiced so much that he felt like jumping to the ceiling, or maybe even the sun. "Yes, of course. Yes. Thank you." Liam couldn't believe his luck for a few seconds. It felt to him like he was a little boy freed from an evil witch, and I was the benevolent wizard who rescued him. For me, it was the opposite. Liam was the wizard who saved my business from collapse. There is nothing more beautiful in life than a dream, and everyone's dreams are different. What do you think of this story? Share your opinion in the comments. Let's reach 1,000 subscribers on this channel. Love.